Hey you! That Halloween costume is pretty cool.
I think those are their normal clothes, bonehead.
Lowe's Halloween 2023. Man, it has been a week for news, and it doesn't even feel like even Lowe's is just the only one producing things right now. There has just been a lot of things just going on in the news on Facebook and Instagram, and finally there's something to talk about.
Finally!
Because, you know, I know I've been away for a good, like, almost 2 weeks now. And, but that was just because I was waiting. I know a lot of my videos are not always news-based, but here we are finally with something. Now, I'm sure by now everybody has seen and talked about the new leaks, but I wanted to give my opinions out there, just kind of discuss some of the topics or some of the highlights that we have seen through the news of the Lowe's Halloween 2023 season. And there were a lot of great videos. We saw the guard zombie, we saw the evil dark angel on the tombstone pillar. We also saw all of the pneumatic animatronics, or the ones that we haven't seen yet. And we also got a look at the pumpkin twins, which I thought was a very awesome thing to finally see and actually, you know, get to kind of understand what they're saying.
Maybe.
Granted, the twins were not exactly what I expected, but they are cute in their own fashion, very retro. I'm not a big fan of their voices, I will admit, but besides that, I think their designs and their functions are pretty cool. I love that they can communicate with one another and that they actually have the ability to sing and talk. I think they're great little greeters, and I think if you're not going for super scary, these would definitely be for you. However, there was also, like I mentioned, the zombie, which I believe Hauntformer talked about that, and if you want to go look at that yourself, you're more than welcome to, because he kind of explains his opinions on that, and I couldn't have agreed more with that review, and I think that sums up pretty much my opinion perfectly. And like I said, we also had the big, huge, evil tombstone angel. The angel I thought was very, very cool. It's probably exactly what I thought it was going to be. The voice did throw me off a little bit, but after listening to it a couple times, I realized that the voice was perfect for the animatronic, and I love the overall animation and the phrases. It all looked very good. And up on your screen, I'm wanting to just kind of show you all some of the leaked images. I think that a lot of the leaked images that were shown to us looked very nice. I think it definitely helped my opinions out a lot more. And like I have preached to many people in the past and over the time that I've been doing this, that looks alone is not everything. Even if an animatronic looks really good, the phrases could suck, the animation could suck, and it could just ruin the entire animatronic. There's also the chance that some animatronics don't look as great, but the animation or the phrases just change the entire image of an animatronic. It really depends on how the companies execute the animatronics perfectly, whether that be through the animation, the vocals, or the overall looks and appearances alone, or even the features. I think certain animatronics definitely are better based off of movements and vocals alone compared to their looks, and then there's also the vice versa, where a lot of animatronics look spot on and perfect with their appearance, but yet lack in the vocal or movement side of things. Take the Home Depot wizard, for example. He looked good. His movements were not the best. He only had pretty much one movement, but his features really made up for it with the crystal ball, the awesome staff, and the beautiful blue eyes that he had. I think it all fit together pretty well, and it made up for the lack of animation that wizard did have. Now, with all that out of the way, I wanted to talk mainly about what this this video is going to be about, and that is about the pneumatic animatronics that we have seen from Lowe's thus far. I have to admit to you all that I was a little disappointed with these pneumatic animatronics. Now, granted, this is the very first time that we have ever seen pneumatic animatronics being sold at a retail store where they sell like lumber, air compressors, and things like that. And granted, you know, we have not gotten, I guess you could say, anything similar to this in a while. But with that being said, we have definitely seen a good portion of animatronics that I would like to talk about. Now, the first one I would like to just kind of discuss with you all is going to be about the pneumatic clown. I will admit that I was not a big fan of this one. I thought this one was very lackluster in the amount of detail that it had. I thought it would do a lot more. And I thought that it would have a lot more features besides what it did. I think at first, when I first saw this animatronic, I thought that it was going to pop up and produce some sort of like far up jump similar to Mr. Dark, only it was going to move around really crazily, very similar to many pneumatic animatronics that we see from like Distortions Unlimited and professional Halloween companies. But sadly, that just wasn't the case. Now, granted, is this clown okay? Yes, in my opinion, this clown is not that bad for being a pneumatic animatronic. I think overall this animatronic is not the worst, but it definitely could have been better with the overall appearance and the features. Because when you look at this clown, all you really honestly see is just the black sheet that is attached to in half the body. Now, I think it's supposed to be kind of like half a groundbreaker, if I'm correct, and it's supposed to kind of have a more kind of like ability to kind of scare people when they're like passing by, but yet I just don't think this one was executed that well. And you all know me, I'm not a big fan of clowns, but this pneumatic animatronic to me is just kind of upsetting, because not only is there not much originality going on here, but there's also just not really much creativity, especially with the movements. And I'm a little upset, I'm a little disappointed. And overall, I think that this animatronic could have definitely been a little better when it comes down to how it was executed. But overall, I mean, again, it's the very first time we have seen this animatronic or a pneumatic animatronic being sold in retail stores, which is very interesting to me. Now, the movements just go simply up and down while he laughs. And I don't really think that just gives much of a scary effect. I think it's something cool to see, but it's not something that I think many people would want to have just tossed out there in their haunts and be able to successfully scare somebody. But I definitely don't think that this is the best. But for a first attempt at a cheap pneumatic animatronic, I will give credit where credit is due, that this animatronic is really good.
Hey, that's pretty good.
So I wanted to move on to the next pneumatic, and that was like, I think people call her the creepy, scary girl or something like that. But she's also a pneumatic animatronic. If y'all don't remember, we got her image back, I think like in April. Yeah, I believe it was back in April when we first got her, or like back in March when we got an image of her finally, and a couple other animatronics. And granted that, you know, when we saw this, we weren't really impressed with the looks. Now, she looks a lot better in person, but that does not mean that her movements were spot on. And sadly, just like the clown, I was a little disappointed with the movements. I thought they would be a little more with this animatronic, but sadly, her body only just moves up and down. And it moves just like a pneumatic animatronic would. It has like a very quick, jerky motion, and she does kind of, you know, give that scare factor, I think, a little better than the clown does. And I love the overall appearance, but there's no other animation. There's no mouth movement. I didn't even see like eye movement or eye lights. All there is just screaming. There's no phrases, there's no nothing. And I was really disappointed with that. And honestly, I think even the screaming is just a little overbearing in my opinion. And you know, I don't think that this animatronic would be worth personally purchasing unless you are on a budget and you just really want a pneumatic animatronic. And granted, you know, it's really nice because you can go into Lowe's, get an air compressor and this animatronic. It would be a big package, but it would all be there for you to make a purchase of. And you could use this, no problem, in a haunt, but it's sadly just not professional. But I would honestly and for truly say that these animatronics would be great for people on a budget who don't want to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on pneumatic animatronics that are made from like Distortions Unlimited or other companies such as them. But overall, I think this animatronic in appearance is really good, but I was thoroughly disappointed with both of these pneumatic animatronics when I saw what they did and how they sounded. Sadly, it's just not my go-to, but I think if anybody really wanted a pneumatic animatronic, these would definitely be great cheap alternatives to the real thing. And I do still applaud Lowe's for doing this. I think that it's a really good step up. It is innovative and it's revolutionary for the Halloween industry, and it could possibly, if these do good, it could possibly bring out a new genre of animatronics sold in retail stores later on, and maybe even allow production for even better animatronics with better animations. We already have the servo motors, which I thought were very nice, and we have the original gear turning mechs and belt turning mech animatronics that we see today that have been around since the beginning of Halloween, the Halloween community. And now we're getting pneumatics, but sadly these are just not, this is just not looking like a good beginning for Lowe's when it comes down to trying to revolutionize these animatronics. But it is a good start to kind of give an idea of what they're trying to do. Now, overall, I think that the Lowe's Halloween was really good. I love that we got to see a lot of these animatronics kind of understand their phrases, see their full names, get to see their stock images in a better light, like the 12-foot Scarecrow that's being sold this year. Similar to what GM Haunt said, I think that this definitely made me like the Scarecrow a little more. I think it's really cool that we're getting that, and then also not to mention the massive groundbreaker zombie. He looks even better in the stock image, but for the price, I don't know. We'd have to see about that. I'm sure somebody out there will buy him. But overall, I think most of these animatronics so far have impressed me for the most part, but the pneumatics, I have to admit, are a little disappointing to me, and I just think that we need to keep an open mind here and not jump to conclusions that this is the best thing ever. I think it definitely disappointed a lot of other people. It was very anticlimactic with how these were executed and how hyped up they were, just for us to kind of get disappointed with how they move. But besides that, I will admit that Lowe's is doing a really good job, and they're doing a phenomenal job at just kind of innovating the Halloween industry by starting off with these pneumatic animatronics. Now, in other news, we are going to be talking about another company that got some leaks sent out just, I believe, yesterday, and I thought I would go ahead and touch up on these while I'm making this video, talking about my opinions about some of the Lowe's stuff. I will admit that, honestly, the Sam's Club Halloween is already looking pretty promising. And the reason why I say that is because we got, like I said, we got 2 leaks, and it seems like Sam's Club is trying to get a hold of the 12-foot giant-sized pie that many other companies have been trying to jump on the bandwagon with. And we saw that Lowe's is now getting 12-foot props in. We see that Home Depot started this with the 12-foot skeleton. We saw that Party City got their massive 12-foot clown. And now we're seeing that Sam's Club is going to be getting something 12-foot. And Walmart last year also had something 12-foot. And that was the big, huge pumpkin, I guess you could say the big pumpkin-headed ghoul, or whatever you want to call it. It was practically a reskin of the Mummy, but with different phrases. And it was cool nonetheless.
The new forge is on the G. I trap until the bloody bottoms is underneath.
Now we got technically 2 sets of animatronics that got released, and I wanted to talk about these because these just recently got dropped. So the first animatronics that we're going to be talking about is the musical skeleton duo. Now we do not know much information on these animatronics so far, but based off of the stock images alone, we can see that these animatronics, based off of the looks, obviously play some sort of song. And I think that's really cool. I love the outfits. I think the outfits look really good. They're simple, but yet they fit that perfect Halloween vibe. One is black and gray caped, and one is red and black caped, and one has a white band around his top hat, and the other one has a red band, and I think that they fit perfectly. Now, whether or not they will have animation, I don't know. I'm honestly hoping there's a possibility these could be servo motor, or they're just posable and their eyes light up. I know their eyes light up because it shows that in the stock image. Now, whether or not they have any other animations, I do not know, but it looks like there's possibly head movement. Now, I'm not saying that's confirmed, but I'm hoping that will possibly be the case. If not, their eyes might light up while they play some music, and they probably are synced to one another so that one might play part of the song and then another one might try and continue on the song for it, and then they'll play together, and then vice versa. But overall, I think these are really simplistic. Based off the close-ups I've seen, they have full eyes, and the detail on the hat and the cape look incredible to me, and I think that these will definitely be a good touch-up to anybody's haunt or anybody's display that they're going to be producing for 2023 this Halloween. Now, next I wanted to talk about one of the biggest things that Sam's Club is dropping for us, and that is the 12-foot Red Reaper. Now, we have seen many Red Reapers, and it seems like red has started becoming the new color lately, but we have not seen a 12-foot Reaper just quite like this. Now, I do know, I believe it was Menards had a 12-foot Reaper made by Jimmy last year, and it was only Menards that ever had it. Now, I'm in the South, so I don't have a Menards here, so only people that have a Menards near them got to even see that guy, and he wasn't bad. But this Reaper, on the other hand, is very cool looking, and I will admit that this guy is he's probably one of the better 12-foots in my opinion. Now, I'm not fully sure what he does, but I can confirm that I have an image here based off of Facebook, and I will link a link in the description below for anybody to go check this out, and also put the name up for credit because this was obviously not me. But I wanted to talk about what some of these things say, because this is honestly impressive to me that this is being produced at Sam's Club. So he is pre-lit. He's also motion activated. He has lights and sounds of animation, stands at 12 feet tall, haunting sounds and sayings, LED glowing eyes, arms move up and down, which I thought was interesting. Spooky addition to other Halloween decor, suitable for indoor and outdoor use. And he also has a 10-foot length cord that you can use to plug him in. The product details, as you can see and read below, go as follows. But I'm not going to read that out. You all are more than welcome to if you would like to, but I will keep that up on the screen and you can pause if you would like. There are sayings down here, and I think that these are really cool. Now, what his full animation will look like, I don't know. I don't know if he has any body turn movements, but it does say his arms move, so that's going to be really cool. And obviously I'm sure his mouth will move too, because it looks like it does, based off of the stock images alone. Now, I do, like I said, love the red outfit. I think everything blends together with the red, the gray, the black, and I love the cloak and where it comes down at the bottom and spreads out. And the red kind of like spooky cloth just looks so great draped over his arms the way they do. The red eyes complement the red cloak perfectly, and I'm really excited to honestly see this 12-footer in stores. I think this is going to be very interesting. Now, I do not know who is producing this, but based off of the looks alone, I would probably say SVI maybe. I don't want to say it's SVI. It could also be, it could be another company. But based off of the looks alone, I'm going to assume that it is possibly SVI, because they're really big on making the 12-foot animatronics, and they might be producing some new looks and some new apparel for their 12-footers. Based off of the Home Depot stuff we've seen this year, I think that we're going to see a lot of new appearances on the 12-footers here in the upcoming years to come. But anyways, I just wanted to take a moment to review. I wanted to ask you all what you all think in the comments below of the Sam's Club animatronics, and what your opinions are of the Pneumatic animatronics that we saw from Lowe's. Are you a little more disappointed, or did they live up to the hype that you honestly thought they would? But anyways, you all, I'm going to go ahead and cut the video here. If you did like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. I always try to upload weekly and never try and disappoint you all. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. This is Jimmy Bones signing off. I will talk to you guys in the next video. See ya.